Rebecca Davis of Weird, Scary, and Interesting. This video it's been actually a while since we made a video. Last time was in February. Since I'm done my exam, I have more time now to dedicate to my YouTube channel, Weird, Scary, and Interesting. So this video that today is, since it's Victoria Day here in Canada, is so this topic we're going to be talking about is called Miss of Queen Victoria. I thought to make this video about Miss of Queen Victoria because when I did a short for Victoria Day last year, there was somebody that had a claim that Queen Victoria was the biggest drug dealer in history. So I thought, let's see about more myths that there's out there. So whoever made this, that comment from last season, hopefully you're watching this video and learn a little bit more about some myths that may or may not be true of my 12th time cousin, Queen Victoria. Okay, let's get common myths of Queen Victoria often stem from her long, complex reign from 1837 to 1901, with Miss Competence and surrounding her appearance and material role and mourning. Because you remember, after her husband died, she went into deep mourning. Like everybody in her kingdom mourned with her. That's why you see a lot of her wearing black and a lot of her subjects wearing black. Because they mourned Albert's death till Victoria's death. Okay. While portrayed as a pretendly and miserable and tiny and cold matron, she was actually politely active. Politely active, sometimes fiery woman who broke social norms. So in a way you could say, my 12th time cousin, Queen Victoria, kicked in the door for a lot of women for that time frame. Including using anesthetic for as for childbirth, giving, having a woman have some type of drug to help with the childbirthing pain. I guess people before her time just had to deal with the pain when the woman was going through labor and childbirth. Okay, and besides hating pregnancy, yes, she really didn't like pregnancy. She liked how the baby was made, but the outcome she did not like. If you watch a lot of historical stuff on like the History Network, and that is about her, that you'll learn that she did not like children. She liked the hanky-panky part of the child, of making children. The consequence of having a little fun between the sheets, she didn't like that consequence of having children. As we know, she had 9 of them. I know. But then, you know what? She was the queen, and I know. My roommate's saying that if she didn't like kids, she shouldn't have had any. But then I think she had like nannies and that, so that's probably why she didn't have to put up with the 9 kids. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's learn all about 11 myths of Queen Victoria. Okay. Number 1, was Queen Victoria extremely short, under 5 feet? Yes, Queen Victoria was indeed extremely short, standing at 4 feet 11 inches, 150 centimeters tall. That's true, because you see a lot of photos of her. She was quite short. Even when she got coronated, her feet dangled off the throne. When she got coronated, she couldn't touch the floor because she was 4 feet 11 inches and 150 centimeters tall. Okay. Number 2, was Queen Victoria perfect domestic goddess matron? While Queen Victoria popularized the image of a wholesome family, she was far from a perfect domestic goddess. She loathed the physical realities of pregnancy and childbirth, and found infants unappealing and intentionally referred acting as a monarch to being a mother. So you could probably say she was a Mother of the Year, I guess. She wasn't a big fan of children. Okay, number 3. Was Queen Victoria a cold, distant, and bad mother? Queen Victoria was a complex and hands-on, but often overbearing mother. While not cold in the modern sense, she disliked babies and struggled with severe postpartum depression and frequently meddling in her adult children's lives. By the 19th century, aristocratic standards, she was considered by deeply involved, even if emotionally exhausted. So, I guess she was. There is one of her daughters never married. I think till after she died.
Something stuck on that one.
Oh. Okay, let's move on. Since we know that, since we now know she was an involved mom. So now, let's move on to number 4. Did Queen Victoria remain an exclusive widow, ignoring her duties?
Yes.
Queen Victoria never ignored her constitutional duties as head of state. But she did famously withdraw from public life and ceremonial events following the death of Prince Albert in 1861. She earned the nickname the Widow of Windsor, confining herself permanently to her royal estates and avoiding London. So, as we know, that she dived deep into mourning. Like, if you watched the episode that I made for last Victoria Day called Scary Things from the Victorian Era, then some of it talks about that everybody went into deep mourning with her. Let's move on to number 5. Was Queen Victoria ever targeted by assassins? Queen Victoria was targeted of at least 7 distinctive assassination attempts during her 63 years reign, spanning from 1840 to 1882. These attempts involve various methods, including firearms, physical assaults, but Queen Victoria survived all of them without life-threatening injuries. Unless they tried to take her out, but but none of them would take her down. Were successful to taking her out. Hold on, I'll be back. And back. Okay. We left off with, since we were, before I left, pause, we were talking about, that no one could, were successful to assassinate Queen Victoria. So, with that note, we're gonna move on to number 6. Was Queen Victoria a demure and inhabited woman? Queen Victoria was neither demure or inhabited. Though she gave her name to an era associated with social conversions, she was a headstrong, outspoken monarch who famously possessed a fiery temper. She had a temper. Despite the restrictions of pregnancy, had a passionate and excessive private life. So she wasn't, I guess, when you think of a lady, you think of somebody very ladylike. She was not that. Okay, moving on from number 6 to number 7. Did Queen Victoria always disapprove of using anesthetics? Queen Victoria did not always disapprove of anesthetics, although she entirely went without pain relief for her first 7 deliveries. She unlimitedly became one of the most prominent royal advocates for obstetric anesthesia. Okay, I get. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's move on from number 7 to number 8. Did Queen Victoria love all things British and hate foreign influence? Actually, the answer is quite the opposite. While Queen Victoria became a furious, celebrated symbol of British national pride and the expanding empire, she was heavily influenced by foreign cultures. Because if you remember, the British Empire stretched quite a bit across the earth. Like, had it owned Hong Kong one time, India, the other places. So that's why they mean that it was quite the opposite, because her empire was quite influenced by cultures around the world that were in the British Empire at the time of her reign. Okay. We're almost done, so let's move on. From number 8 to number 9. Did Queen Victoria never get over the fear of bishops? Yes, Queen Victoria completely got over her childhood fear of bishops. The phobia, which she attributed to bishops, wigs, and aprons, was successfully cured when she was still a little princess, thanks to the Bishop of Salisbury, who smoothed her by letting her play with his Order of the Garter badge. I guess whatever works to get over your fear. And I guess playing with the Order of the Garter badge worked for Queen Victoria to get over her fear. Okay. Let's move on from number 9 to number 10. Was Queen Victoria born a man? I never heard about this one till I read it when I was doing the script. When I looked it up when I was writing the script. So let's see if it's true or not. No. Obviously, it's no. No, Queen Victoria was not born a man. She was born a female named Alexandria Victoria on May 24th, 1819, to Princess Victoria of Saxe-Coburg Seefeld and Prince Edward, the Duke of Kent. Historical records and portraits constantly document her life as a female. She's not like the first person in royal history that had a claim that they were a man. We all know the claim that Elizabeth I was supposed to be a man. But it's a little different. She wasn't born a man in that sense. It was more or less a switcheroo. So, in Queen Victoria, obviously we all know that she wasn't born a man. She had 9 children. Okay. Let's move on from number 10, because now we sold that Queen Victoria wasn't born a man, to number 11. Number 11 was Queen Victoria, the biggest drug dealer in history. Okay. let's find out if she was or wasn't. Historians and commentators often controversially label Queen Victoria as the biggest drug dealer or drug kingpin in history. While she was not peddling narcotics on the streets, she presided over the British Empire during the 19th century Opium Wars, and when the Britain aggressively attacked massive quantums of I'm wrong. Let's try this again. From the Opium Wars, when Britain aggressively trafficked. That's what I meant. Trafficked, not attacked. Trafficked massive quantums of opium into China. So, no to whoever said that. She wasn't trafficking, wasn't a drug dealer.
Come on, get a seat.
So, there. Hopefully you like this episode about Miss of Queen Victoria. And we debunked a bunch of myths that are out there. Like, I never knew about the myth that she was supposed to be the biggest drug dealer in history. So, yeah, she's not the biggest drug dealer in history. Just because her empire did it doesn't mean that she did it. So since we learned that in the myths, other myths about her that some are not true and some are, this episode. Next episode, we're going to do a sequel to this, and it'll be of her husband, Prince Albert. We'll learn some myths about Albert. So, hopefully you'd like this episode and enjoyed it and learned some myths about Queen Victoria. So if you do, you know the drill. Like and subscribe, and don't forget to comment, and don't forget to ring that bell. So for now, I will say goodbye. Goodbye, and happy Queen Victoria today to all my fellow Canadians. So, bye.